In the mountains where kingdoms once soared, silence now rules. A throne has fallen. But exile is not the end. Across the ravaged highlands of Abyssinia, a young king rides through smoke and sorrow, carrying not pride, but a memory. The twilight has come, but in twilight, the stars awaken. Galawdewos rides alone, the wind tearing at his cloak as the last light fades over shattered ridges, once a prince, now a shadow crossing his broken land. The roads of Abyssinia no longer bow to crowns, only to fire and famine. But the king remembers. Behind him, a dwindling band of loyal warriors clings to purpose, to faith, to the idea that ruins can rise again. They pass through ghost villages and hollowed forests where only silence answers. Yet in the mountains beyond, old allies wait, not for a king, but for a sign. Deep within a forgotten monastery carved into cliffside stone, the last voices of resistance gather. Chiefs, priests, and aging warriors sit beneath faded tapestries, not in glory, but in grief. Their eyes flicker with memories of battles lost and lands abandoned. Galawdewos stands before them, not as king, but as kin, scarred by loss, yet unbroken. He does not promise swift victory, only sacrifice, unity, and faith. One by one, the elders rise, not with applause, but silence, then a nod, then another. The oath is not shouted, it is reborn in stillness. Galawdewos returns to Barara, or what's left of it. Once the jewel of the empire, now nothing but blackened stone and wild grass. The palace is gone, the church is gutted, crosses lie shattered in the dirt. Yet he kneels, not in despair, but in remembrance. This was his father's throne, his mother's prayers, his childhood echo. And though fire has devoured its beauty, it has not erased its meaning. He lifts a broken crown from the earth, bent, scorched, but still gold. In his hands, it weighs more than power. It weighs history. In the caves and cliffs of the forgotten north, whispers travel faster than war drums. Word spreads, the king lives, not in gold, but in grit, not with armies, but with purpose. Highlanders once scattered by fear now begin to gather, smiths, monks, and shepherds offering more than swords, offering loyalty. The wounds are deep, but the soil still remembers the shape of freedom. As Galawdewos speaks, village after village, his words take root. The people do not chant his name, they raise their heads. That is enough. For in twilight, even a single spark can awaken the mountains. He does not march with fanfare, but with fire in his step. Galawdewos, once displaced and disgraced, now walks as one who knows loss and is not afraid of it. The shattered thrones of the Highlands begin to stir. In Shewa, old banners are stitched anew. In Amhara, hidden warriors begin to train again beneath the trees. The Christian nobles do not kneel to him, but they listen. He does not ask for obedience. He asks for memory, and they remember, not just who they are, but what was taken from them. In silence, the resistance is reborn. Galawdewos is no longer the boy who fled. He is not yet the king they remember, but he is the hope they choose. Twilight is a strange hour. It softens even the sharpest ruins. It holds memory and promise in the same breath. On a ridge overlooking the Valley of Kings, Galawdewos stands alone, crown in hand, not on his head. The past is ash, the future uncertain. But tonight, he does not walk in shadow. He walks in faith. And in that faith, a kingdom begins to rise. Not with vengeance, but with vision. Not with blood alone, but with belief. A king does not rise because the world bows. He rises because he refuses to fall. And in the mountains of Abyssinia, where crowns burned and swords shattered, a single step became a spark. Galawdewos did not inherit glory. He inherited silence. But in that silence, he spoke. And the land listened.